Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Time for another edition of Training Tip Tuesday with me, Coach Coral from Team Babe Athletics. I hope everybody's week is off to a good start, that you're finding your groove, finding some motivation, but most importantly, staying well, staying as positive as possible. So for today's Q&A, for today's Training Tip Tuesday, we wanted to switch things up a little bit and answer questions that you submitted. So we've got kind of a mixed bag of questions that we're going to be working through today. So thank you to everyone who submitted questions. They're really, really good ones. Also, we're probably going to continue doing this for the time being just because things are a little up in the air. A lot of people have questions about how to continue training and doing things to get closer to their goals while also being flexible. So we want to know that we're here for you. We're here to support you in whatever your goals look like, and also to be a trusted resource where you can find answers to your questions and resources to help you become a better athlete and have a great life. So to get us started, we have a question of how much should you tighten the resistance knob on a standard trainer? So for those of you who might be a little unfamiliar with bike trainers, there's a lot of conversation these days about smart trainers or direct drive trainers that don't have the back wheel in the trainer mechanism. So, and then you've got sorry, that wasn't very clear. So essentially for a smart trainer, you take off your rear wheel and affix your bike to a cassette that's built in, or your rear gears that are built into the bike trainer, and you transfer power directly to the trainer. For a standard trainer, typically what you'll see is you keep your rear wheel on your bike, and there's a flywheel that comes up and provides resistance. And so what we're talking about is once that resistance or flywheel is touching your back tire, how many turns should you give it to provide a good amount of resistance? So the typical rule of thumb, and again, this really depends on what type of trainer you've got, but a good starting point is to turn that resistance knob to the point where the resistance wheel is touching that back tire, and then turn 2 to 3 more so you've got a solid contact between that flywheel and your back tire. If it feels way too hard, back off a little bit. If you feel like your tire is skipping a little bit, or that you don't have enough resistance to properly execute the workout that you're looking to do, then take another turn or two. Just go conservatively and figure out where your sweet spot is on your trainer. So hopefully that is helpful. All right, shoulder stretches. A lot of us are doing work in not our typical workspaces at the moment, so perhaps our ergonomics are a little bit off. So the first tip that I would advise you to take when figuring out how to get your shoulders loose is, first off, take a look at where you're spending the most of your day and see if you can get a good setup, even if you're working from home, that's a bit more ergonomically executed. And also standing desks. Standing desks are fantastic. So if you're, working in a good groove and you're still experiencing some shoulder tightness from workouts or just day-to-day a lot of stress, we tend to hold our stress in our shoulders. There are some good mobility and shoulder stretches that you can do. My favorite one is just to kind of do a hug. And this actually just feels really good right now too. So kind of doing a hug, you can go like this. You can also work on your spine and do a little bit of flexion and extension, all right, to get some movement through that upper back. And then also, you don't want to forget about the front part of your body. A lot of us, just from the way we work or riding our bikes or running even, we tend to pull our shoulders forward, just having a lot of tightness across the front of our body versus the back body. So doing some shoulder circles to open up through the front part of your body. And then your typical door stretch. Not a huge fan of static stretches, but that can feel good and provide a momentary relief. And then also something that is sometimes overlooked is strengthening through your back body to bring your posture and your shoulders into a better alignment so that you don't feel that stress so much on the back or the front of the shoulders. So momentary relief you'll find through some mobility and through some stretching. A more permanent solution to shoulder tightness or pain is oftentimes going to come from addressing your range of motion and also strengthening your posture muscles. Most oftentimes we're weak in the back, okay? And also, to that same note of strengthening postural muscles, if there's interest, I'll do a quick clip of a few just super awesome postural strengthening exercises that you can do in just 3 to 5 minutes in kind of a movement break throughout your day. So stay tuned. That's a good one. All right. So do penguins mate for life? We had some mixed questions today. To the best of my knowledge, do not quote me on this, I do believe penguins mate for life. I don't know. You guys, zoologists, this is your moment, your time to shine. Let me know by typing in the comments if I am on point or if I am way off base. All right, so another bike-related question is how to best determine your tire pressure. And I did a chat on this, a brief, quick tip chat in our team group the other day. The biggest rule of thumb is that first off, you want to find the max tire pressure for your specific tire, and you will find that 95% of the time it's going to be listed on the sidewall of your tire. And do note that this is not standard across all road bike tires or all hybrid tires or all fat bike tires. Really depends on the manufacturer. Typically though, you're going to see max tire pressure of about 120 to 130 on road bikes. For hybrids, it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 or 80, sometimes a little higher, sometimes a little bit lower. Mountain bikes, you may see closer to a range of 30 to 50. That being said, just like we don't max out the tire pressure on our car tires, the same holds true for your bike tires. And so depending on your weight, the road surface you're riding on, the conditions outside, you're going to want to factor in all of those things to find the best sweet spot for you. One, for your weight, but two, also given the riding conditions. And so since this is mostly science, but a little bit of an art to find the best situation for you, I'm going to place a link in to help you guys determine the best fit for y'all. I'm going to place a link to an article from Bicycling Magazine that is fantastic and unpacks this in a lot greater detail than I could cover here in a Q&A. But again, if y'all have any questions beyond that, please let me know, let Coach Ray know. Hey, Suzanne, thanks for hopping in. And we can certainly figure it out. Sometimes this does take a little trial and error, especially as you're getting used to a new bike or just cycling in general. But have fun with it, don't get frustrated. And sometimes it will lead you to need to figure out how to change a flat tire if you overinflate and bust a tube or two. And that's okay. All right, next question. Does sculling in the bathtub count as swimming? In these days, absolutely. I think this is a Michael Phelps endorsed tip here. So there have been so many fun videos of folks doing swim drills in the bathtub. But yeah, if you guys, don't be afraid to think outside the box. I know this is a humorous question, and sometimes if you have a bathtub big enough, I commend you. You have definitely arrived in a great spot in life, having a bathtub big enough to swim in. But That said, if you have a pool, I know there have been a lot of videos circulating, but just in case you missed them, there are things called swim tethers that essentially allow you to swim in place, but still get a great workout in. And if you're utilizing a swim tether, I would advise you to swim for time, not try to measure distance. I'm not sure of how that you would even go about measuring distance, but doing something like a 5-minute easy warm-up, and then figuring out a time equivalent to the typical distance interval that you would be swimming. So for instance, if you wanted to do a swim set of like a 500 warm-up, and then you had 10 by 200s that you wanted to swim with 30 seconds rest, maybe you're doing a 10-minute easy swim, super easy just to get warmed up, take a short little break, and then move into your 10 by 200 swim set. If it takes you 2 minutes and 30 seconds to swim a 200, that would be your time interval, your swim time interval, and then you'd maintain your rest, your 30 seconds, rinse and repeat. So there are ways to still do high quality structured workouts with your swim tether. If you guys need some help figuring out some fun workouts to do with your swim tethers, or if you're going the resistance band route, please let us know. There are so many ways to help mix up your training, keep it fresh, and keep your muscles ready for when we get back to training as usual. All right, final question, and actually, if you're just joining, hello, thank you guys so much for taking the time to hop in. If y'all have any questions that I haven't covered yet, go ahead and type them in. This is a live Q&A, so would love to get your questions on the fly as well. So the finally pre-submitted question that we've got is how to go about purchasing and correctly sizing a bike if you cannot get into a bike shop given the current climate. So first off, I will note some bike shops, depending on your area, some bike shops are determined essential businesses. If this is your scenario, I highly suggest calling your local bike shop and having them sort of walk through with you your measurements and helping find an appropriately sized bike for you. Sometimes they're doing delivery. I can't speak to every bike shop scenario, but certainly this is a critical time where we want to support as many local businesses as possible, especially with larger purchases like bike shops. That said, if that is not an option given your current situation, I do know that some bike manufacturers are doing direct shipping to homes. And this is a little tricky because there is some assembly required in most cases. So if that is something that you're up for, I know you can typically call customer service at some bike manufacturers and they will help you figure out sizing. All that said, if you have a coach or a trusted resource that can help walk you through this bike purchasing process, it can be definitely a little tricky to do something like this remotely without test riding. So of course, if you're able to test ride, that is always the best bet. If you can wait and hold on, that's also a good route too. So again, no definitive guidance there, but just throwing out some options that you could consider if you are wanting to take this time to upgrade your bike stable. So, all right, I haven't seen any other questions roll through, but Gabby, thanks for hopping in. Kristen, good to see you. Suzanne as well. Hope you guys are having a great week. It's super sunny here in Florida, so definitely taking advantage of having our waterways open, and I'm gonna go for a paddle today with some cross training to get outside and enjoy the sunshine, but hopefully you guys are finding some sunshine in your own lives. Also, I found a really awesome video. This is totally not triathlon related, but if you guys follow me on Facebook, I'm gonna share a really wonderful video. Actually, I'll just link it here in the comments, that talks about finding joy in just the day-to-day routine, and it's something near and dear to my heart. It's by a videographer who is based in Florence, Italy, which is near where I used to live in Pisa. And she's just got such a beautiful perspective on finding joy, moments of joy, even when we are stressed, anxious, facing very, very difficult circumstances, and finding hope in just day-to-day routines and in the mundane. So hopefully this is also part of what we are able to provide you all with. If there's any sort of resource or anything that we can do as a team, please let me know, let Coach Ray know. This is really what we're here for, and we hope that our team is a resource, a light for you in this moment, and we wish you all the best. Stay well. Thank you to anybody in the service industry at the moment, to anyone who is in healthcare, to their families. I know that this directly impacts everybody. And stay well, stay safe, stay smart, but don't forget to get outside, enjoy the sunshine, and to move your body a little bit every day. All right, take care, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.